everybody, welcome to That's Good Stuff. We review the newest pop culture releases and tell you what we think about them. And we are continuing on with the adaptation of Uzumaki. We're on episode 2 of 4, a real fast series. So this one continues our path into the spiral as we get a couple of storylines. The main girl, Kiri, I think that's how you say her name. She's having a bad hair day. We meet a couple of star-crossed lovers that are running from their dads. And
Real fast about those star-crossed lovers. I like when they're in that shack and that snake comes out and she's like, it's just like our parents, always at each other's throat, always wrestling with each other, trying to kill each other. It's like, I think they're mating.
Oh no, they're mating. And our third storyline continues with the snail boy of high school. I don't know what their high school's called, but
Kiyokura High School. Yeah.
All right. So this one I thought flowed a little better than last time because last time we had a lot of jump cuts and stuff like that. We still get some jump cuts, but I thought the story flowed in a better line than it did last time.
It's very Twilight Zone-ish.
Yeah.
It feels like it wants to be an anthology, but they really didn't have time to do a bunch of little stories, so they had to.
Which, how do they not have time? This has been in production for 4 years, but whatever.
Yeah, I bet there's a story behind the production. No,
I bet there is.
So, what did you guys think of this episode? Let's start with Jared, since he already talked about mating snakes.
Well, that was the best part because it was hilarious.
There was other mating animals, but
yeah, and the two snails.
Yeah.
But
where did that other snail come from?
The bully kid?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. The one that usually bullies the fat kid?
He turned into a snail. I didn't even catch that. I must have blinked.
And then I like when he was like, don't smash the eggs. And he's like, I have to.
I would everywhere.
I probably set him on fire. Like I ain't bringing the abomination into the world.
Well, then you probably turn into a snail like the teacher.
And then they had like in this episode they had a gun freaks like hair off where the hair just goes up. But no, I like this episode.
I don't think Cole's a fan of that.
It was a lot more, I guess, structured than last time. It didn't feel like, hey, coming up in this episode, and then it was over. We didn't see much of the main dude in this one. He just like came with his scissors and then.
What a Chad, man! Like what a Chad!
I know that guy just shows up to save his girlfriend.
what a great guy! What a great guy!
But yeah, this is a good episode. I don't have much to say about it. I like the whole like lighthouse scene. That was pretty cool. And they're like, "Oh crap, it's about to turn on," and they're like,
"That poor kid."
Oh yeah, that kid. He's gone. But yeah, I like this one. Not too bad. I did have a little issue. I had some issues with like the 3D in this one. It wasn't as well like
when
fast.
they were running. That was
yeah. They were like,
when they're like running, but just sliding in a different direction, like Gumby style.
Yeah.
What do you think about it, Michael?
My opinion hadn't changed much from the first episode. This one did have more, like Joseph said, fewer jump cuts. It was less sporadic, but it's just like I'm sitting there like, why is it? Why is just spiral scream run, spiral scream run, spiral scream, more spirals, more screaming, more. It's just it just feels like weird for the sake of weird, but without any substance. And so I don't know. I lost interest pretty quickly in this episode, and I was eating chips and salsa, and that was more entertaining. But
I see you've learned from me then.
More entertaining than mating snails.
Yeah, and the snakes are doing, and the children went off into the ocean like happy-go-lucky mermaid people, and they spiraled away. I don't know. It's just I don't get why.
That was kind of funny when he was like, the parents caught up to them, and he's like, maybe you guys should just spiral like us. And he's like,
I will say the lighthouse scene was, while still confusing as to why, it was cool. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this one wasn't as creepy as the first one. It was more like absurdist humor until the end, and that lighthouse part was creepy.
And then that child caught on fire.
Yeah. Thomas, what'd you go?
No, I like this one. the Starcrest lover part was probably one of my favorite parts. Just it's kind of like absurd and kind of creepy how it just ends like that, and you see them go off into the sea. And then they go up and then down
Happily
again.
ever after.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the lighthouse part was pretty eerie. I love the design of the burnt out, not burnt out, but the melted light. That's when she figures out, like, oh crap, no, this thing is burning way too hot. So it's kind of cool.
Again,
I
that poor child.
Yeah.
The horrific screams off that child.
I will say the pacing is kind of weird for this show because I mean they're all meant to be in like chapters, and not every chapter is related to each other. And so when you try to put it into like a cohesive episode, it doesn't really flow the same. And so it's a little odd.
Well, in the book, isn't there like that random chapter about like it just goes off on a tangent for a little while?
I think so. I need to reread it, but that's stuff like that. So each chapter isn't directly related to the other, like in order. So it's just it's just different. So, but I'm still enjoying it. And part of it too is that I watched that god awful Junji Ito collection, and
Yeah.
anything is better than that. So I'm happy that it looks decent, except for that one weird running animation. I don't know what that was
I
about.
kind of
I was like,
enjoyed it. It was satisfying. You watch me.
I really
Yeah.
like just
You like
seeing
put
how,
down your chip for a second.
oh my god, the chip's a spiral.
But can wait. This is
So
fantastic.
So this is funny though, is that, and I'll get back to you in a second, Jared. When you read this and when you watch, I guess when you watch this too, you kind of notice spirals, because spirals occur a lot in nature. And when I was taking a bath, I put in my Epsom salt, and when I was pouring the Epsom salt, it was in a spiral. I was like, oh, that's kind of creepy.
You like
then
the
when-
dad going,
Yeah, and then when I took out the plug, it was starting to spiral. I was like, I should really stop just like looking for these. So, but go ahead, Jared. I'm
Thomas
sorry.
just goes
Don't
crazy.
stir your coffee. Thomas.
I was just saying I liked seeing the art and just how it looks.
Yeah,
I've been really enjoying that.
they've definitely made a point to try to translate the art really well. So I'm happy about that. But again, the pacing's just a little off, but I think that's just lost in translation. So
The hair stuff was kind of funny. It's like,
yeah, that's
he didn't
like
want to get a haircut, and the kid's like, I doesn't want to go to the hospital.
that's like the goofy part of it to me. And there was a live action Uzumaki too, and it looks even like more goofy in live action. I'm
I
like,
hear it's not as good.
it's not, but
Yeah, I saw like the snails in that one. It's like, ooh.
well, when you
Snails
add,
always remind me of that SpongeBob episode where they all turn into snails.
Mhm.
Do you remember that one?
meow. When you add movement to certain things, it just loses its like scariness sometimes. And definitely the hair, because in the book, the hair part is kind of creepy, but like with this, it's like that just looks ridiculous. So
Yeah, that girl was jealous of her hair. She had to have the highest hair.
I did like that. I was like, who has the haircut now? And she's like, I don't care.
I don't like this thing. It's creepy. So, one thing I learned from this show is even through like eldritch horrors, Japanese kids still have to go to school. They do not let those kids out of school.
Makes sense.
That's
Makes
why they
sense.
get the good grades.
6 days a week.
It sucks. All right. So, any last words on Uzumaki episode 2? All right, we'll come back.
Ride that spiral, baby.
Come back for episode 3 and see what happens. So, like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff. And we will see you next time. Bye.